He said on stage, "The MCU has knocked on my door, and it's a role you won't predict. It will be teased, and there will be a series afterwards."
What?
Um,
He shouldn't have said that either.
It seems like a lot, but it's also a smart move, a smart business move for him.
Welcome back to the break room. Has Giancarlo Esposito been cast in the MCU?
Whoa!
What? He seems to think so. Who could he be playing? It's the Monday headline show. Hit that graphic
On a Tuesday. H-E-A-D-L-E-N-E-S.
That's right. We're on a Tuesday today because of Memorial Day. But who knows when you might be watching this. I'm thrilled to be joined on the dais here with two good friends, Zach Huddleston and Maude Garrett. Maude Garrett gets to still be herself.
Yay.
No, of course, that previous person was Brandon Barrick.
Oh, hello.
Is he?
Put it up. Put it up there.
Put it up.
I just thought you Diet Mitched for a second. I was so confused about what happened.
They lost my Chiron.
What if someone's there going, today was the day I was going to follow him on social media.
Please don't.
Today's the day. I just need.
There it is.
There it is.
Back to personhood for Brandon.
I do want to call out someone on Twitter, and I forgot who it was. They did. Remember when we had to do those trivia questions? And one of them was about where does Steve Rogers keep his picture of Peggy?
Please.
And the card said a pocket watch, and I was like, that's not right. It's a compass. It was a compass. And someone on Twitter, I forget who it was, they vindicated me. They checked it out. So those cards are wrong.
Okay.
It was the moops.
I just feel like if we haven't already decided that Brandon was right all along.
Yes, thank you, Maude.
Then
Maude, you're welcome back on this show anytime.
Okay.
I really do feel like I'm brown nosing, but you said one funny thing that made a tear come from my eye.
It's happened.
And so now I'm like going to worship this episode. Sorry, Zach.
It's
Sorry,
it's brand nosing, really.
Hey!
Don't get me. We're talking. We're also gonna be talking some classic jumping the Gunndates. Thank you. More pens in the chat.
Pen.
Or can we workshop when James Gunn teases stuff or tweets out news? I like gunshots, but
Well, not in this economy.
well, that's true. Is there a better
Gun
pun
dates?
for Gunndates?
Jumping the Gundates.
I think
Fun.
Jump the gun.
Under the gun.
we've definitely done Jump the Gun.
Yeah.
I think Jumping the Gundates was a fun little thing I landed on today that's like taking it a couple extra steps. That's very funny for just me as an audience.
What about one and gun?
One
Here
and gun.
today, gun tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Throw in the chat what you think.
Gun to your head.
No.
Okay. But
Back it up.
First up, The Acolyte is coming to Disney Plus next week. Some folks here on staff got to go to an early screening of it. Brandon, were you one of those folks?
Yes.
Maude, were you one of those
That's why
folks?
we nodded at each other knowingly.
We keep the secret.
Yeah, I have not seen anything, and they can't talk about it yet. But
Can we not give a facial expression?
oh yeah, sure. Ooh, that seems positive. Oh, that seems childlike. I don't know.
Maybe. Childlike wonder.
But we're getting a tease for Andor season 2. I think is that currently shooting or it's in development?
I think it's just wrapped shooting a couple weeks ago.
okay, but that's a 2025 release.
It's been so long.
Yeah, since season 1. But Adria Arjona, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the actress who played Bix, she's out doing promo for the new Glen Powell. Put a pin in him. We'll come back to him later. Movie Hitman on Netflix. And she dropped an interesting tidbit about season 2 of Andor, saying that in between every 3 episodes, there's a year. And then there's 3 more episodes, then a year, and then 3 more. So you're seeing the evolution of these characters through such a large span of time.
I can tell you right now, she shouldn't have said that.
Ooh, because that's a big spoiler?
I reckon.
I don't think so. I remember when they announced this show and they said they were doing like 2 seasons of it. I remember them talking about like the first season would take place over a small amount of time, and then the second season the first season would take place over that 1 year, and then the second season would fill in the like
All the
4
rest.
years leading up to Rogue One, because it's starting like 5 years ahead of Rogue One.
They do have a clear timeline,
Right.
which I really do appreciate. So and we know this timeline very well. So to kind of like reintroduce at moments, we know exactly what's happening.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, cool. Is the Death Star here or not? Yeah, good.
Well, and I thought one of the very successful parts of Andor season 1 that was great in general were the like episode capsules, kind of, right? We had the
arcs
3
that they
episodes with the kind of the theft run on the forest planet or the grassy planet.
Cousin.
Yeah, with Eben Moss Backrack and others. We had the 3 episode arc in the space prison,
Yeah.
right?
One way out.
It were kind of just like movies almost, right? Because it would be 3 40-minute episodes or something like that. Like, I thought it lent itself to some really cool storytelling. So it's basically what they're doing here. They'll just be time gaps.
Yeah, they'll jump ahead.
Yeah. Anyways.
I just really quickly, I was trying to think of the other show that's successfully done some time jumps, and the biggest one that we've seen is House of the Dragon so far, where it's like really like completely
Mid-season, huge.
And that was like a late addition to that show because they added the young kids because they were doing just the normal adults, and they were like, we need to like explain Alicent and Rhaenyra's relationship a little bit better. So they added in that like the like episodes with the kids. They got them after they had already planned to do the show. So it was like interesting they decided to go back like that because they're like, oh, it doesn't explain enough.
Millie got a job with James Gunn. Full circle.
Yes, full circle.
Let's go.
Millie Alcock, is that her name?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Acock
Aussie.
or Alcock?
She's Australian. Everyone has to drink.
Oh, hey. We saw her at the premiere of season 1 House of the Dragon, which, FYI, our invites for season 2 lost in the mail.
Yeah,
It's going to be held in New York.
Oh, okay, so they are lost.
I guess
in
they
the mail.
lost.
We don't live there. Okay.
I'm not allowed to go to New York.
That's right. Brandon can't interstate travel. But speaking of James Gunn, let's pivot to some James jumping the Gunndates. Oh, there's even extra words in it this time. Okay. So James Gunn,
each time you say it.
This is juicy though. He's often like tweeting out tiny
Juicy
little
James.
things. This is a juicy James Gunn date. He confirmed that the Green Lantern series, Lanterns, it's really got a pretty stacked writer's room. Okay, Chris Mundy, the Ozark showrunner, multiple Emmy winner Ozark. Damon Lindelof, of course, one of the co-creators of Lost, also did The Leftovers on HBO and the Watchmen series on HBO most recently. And then Tom King, beloved comic book author, who wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is getting adapted into a movie of some ilk also by James Gunn.
Go back. My favorite part about this image, look who liked it. That's Hector Navarro.
Hey, our guy! Yeah, because the Breakroom Instagram channel probably follows
That's
Hector
exactly
as well.
what it is.
That is a really strong, like, there's not 5 bigger names in prestige TV than Damon Lindelof. Right? Like, his track record, especially even in this genre with what he did with the Watchmen series, is pretty great. And like kind of the sci-fi elements of Lost.
Do you think
and-
Vince Gilligan got a call? And Gunn was like, you got any DC ideas?
I bet he did get a call.
You think James Gunn was just checking around with like all the big
With
TV
every
guy?
David
TV
Simon, what are you up
creators?
to?
Yeah,
Shonda Rhimes, got any free time?
yeah.
But I mean, that's helpful. And then that kind of leads into, so Chris Mundy, in addition to being the showrunner of Ozark, was an executive producer in the most recent season of True Detective Night Country. And this show has been pitched verbally by James Gunn before as a True Detective out in space kind of a series, right? With the Green Lantern
they're
Corps.
completely changing the tone and the direction of the show. So they wiped that slate clean. Apparently, the original iteration of this was going to be more of like a space opera, which I understand with Green Lantern, it can lend itself to that. But the fact that they're going to go now in a true detective direction, I actually think bodes a lot better for Green Lantern, just quietly.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be more nuanced and dark.
Yeah. Before DC brought in James Gunn and like Peter Safran and moved them over to like kind of to be in charge of it, they were working on like a Green Lantern show. I guess back 2019, they started like announcing it, putting it together, and it was
Greg Berlanti. Of the CW Arrowverse.
And don't get me wrong, that slate of television did exceptionally
Right.
well. Too well that they kept renewing it, and I think it almost like overstayed its welcome with what was the Legends of Tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera.
It seems like a lot of those shows, most of the fans, they love it, and then it like goes 2 seasons too long, right?
That's
They're like,
it.
oh, they get annoyed. Like I always heard, I didn't watch a lot of them, but like people love The Flash, and then it was like, it's kind of like Peter enters the end. Same for like Arrow.
It was, but the problem is as well, they kept movie and TV DC incredibly separate.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, we spent 7 seasons falling in love with this iteration of The Flash, but like then we look at Ezra and on the big screen, it's like, well, okay, yeah. But they have very different tones. CW is known for being gorgeous people, quite camp.
It's a little more soap opera,
and
right?
like,
It's like teen
a
focused.
much lower budget in general than anything Marvel puts out or whatever. Yeah.
And I don't want to, I don't want to disparage those shows at all because they have, they're fulfilling a purpose. They were aimed at like a younger audience. They're trying to do all this on television, not like Disney making Marvel TV shows for $10 million an episode. Like they were working with like very limited budgets. A lot of times the actors were like, they really loved their parts and like stayed with those shows. maybe when it wasn't the best job they could get, but like they liked the shows and they were doing them. So it's tough because I feel like fans of those shows and fans of like the Marvel shows that have not been brought into the fold, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. most notably, like I feel like they get short shrifted a lot of the time where it's like, we support this and we like this and we were here for it, and we always get made like the butt of a joke.
That's it.
Because we liked this thing that you guys didn't fully support.
Well, no longer.
No
because
longer.
This Lantern show is going to be canon. Also, so apparently, right, like this is going to be about two of the better well-known Lanterns, Hal Jordan, which that was the Lantern that Ryan Reynolds played in the ill-fated theatrical film, and Jon Stewart, who of course hosted the Daily Show for a number of years.
Come on,
come back.
Dad, not now.
I had to. No, but of course, as that's the Lantern that's in the animated Justice
and
League
that they were
series
teasing in the Snyder cut, and that DC has always been teasing. I feel like I'm not a big Green Lantern reader. I've read some Green Lantern. I know some of the stories, but like Green Lantern feels like one of those characters that has like a very diehard fan base that loves it. Obviously, like many people have had the rings. There's many people throughout the universe in the Lantern
different
Corps.
species.
Yeah, it's like this whole other thing. It's its own little subgenre. So I feel like if they're trying to kind of tell like a big sprawling story, it'll be interesting to see them pull it all in.
Yeah, and Peter Safran has previously said that this show, these two Lanterns are going to be teaming up to solve a mystery that plays a big role leading us into the main story that we're telling across our film and television.
Now, we've already got Nathan Fillion being cast as, is it Guy?
Guy Gardner?
Guy Gardner in an upcoming, is that in the Superman series?
That's in the Superman
It's
movie.
gonna be the first superhero. Yeah, the Superman movie, yeah.
Okay, so are they
How many Green Lanterns are there going to
That's
be?
a lot
what
out there.
I'm trying to get at.
I mean, they did. Oh, again, I didn't read a ton of Green Lanterns, so apologies. But there was overlap with a lot of the characters, and in this world where there's multiverses and timelines and
Yeah, and I think multiple Green Lanterns, like Earth gets like more Green Lanterns than other people because they keep around.
we gotta
Take a lap.
boy.
Cool down.
You were up too late last night,
I
drinking
know.
too much soda, and now look at you.
He's
What
cranked
kind of
out.
In the jar.
He's cranked out. But yeah, I think Earth gets multiple Green Lanterns because they keep messing up, and so they require more protectors, and so multiple people can hold the rings. And I think one of them, out of the three names we mentioned, one of them might have also moved on to a different planet at some point during the.
And we could be like Guy Gardner could be pre-ring Guy Gardner.
Can you imagine if you're some planet out there and the Lantern Corps is like, hey, good news, you guys are getting a Green Lantern. He's from Earth. And you're like, what the f?
Hey,
Well,
what did we just tell Evan?
Spevin cursed. I'm allowed to curse. You're on this planet and you're like, we're getting some schmuck from Earth, doesn't speak the language, isn't from here. They're going to police my planet.
They'll learn the language.
Why can't this planet have its own Green Lantern? Why has it got to be an Earthling coming in and doing the job? I don't like it.
What if it's the planet from Andor where the Empire killed all the creatures and they all made the sound that tortures Adria Arjona?
Oh,
Remember that episode?
So you're saying that planet can't have one of its own?
That's right.
They need
Okay, so yeah. Anyways, we're off on a tangent.
very deep Andor talks today.
I think about that scene
I
once
just wanted,
again.
I wanted to know the sound.
Yes.
What's the sound? You have to do it for me. No. Brandon's saying that's not even close.
It's someone like sipping a soda, like can. They have a soda can. They just sip off the top like this.
Oh, I don't like
what?
it.
The sound, the torture sound that the Empire was using in Andor.
For the sake of art.
I think about that
And
show.
then another jumping the gun date. Deathstroke might be appearing in the DCU. Somebody tweeted at him, "Wink if you have plans for Deathstroke. I'm waiting for my boy to shine for so long." And James Gunn gives a little winky emoji. I mean, that could be 2037's Superman 4 or whatever. But reminder, Joe Manganiello played this character in a very brief Snyder Cut cameo. Do we have that image?
Yeah, he looks really cool. He's like gray with the like.
We don't.
Kind of
We
crop-
can.
We'll put it in post.
We'll add it in post.
An unmasked, but man,
Costumed up.
Basically,
costumed up
it was-
and an eye patch
Lex Luthor was recruiting him.
Yes.
On the back of a boat.
on a yacht. Yeah,
Yeah, yacht. Money talks.
It's a tough. That's right.
A schooner,
Lex Luthor ain't on no canoe.
a dinghy,
Sailboat?
a pontoon.
But presumably won't be that exact depiction. Also, a reminder, we had a little chat as the show was starting. Deathstroke, not to be confused with
Bloodsport
or Kill Shot.
Shot.
Idris Elba and Will Smith's characters, respectively, in the two Suicide Squad movies.
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Yeah, we're still,
Deadshot.
still getting it wrong.
Deadpool, Deathstroke, Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not the same. Stop getting it so confused. It's not that hard.
Yeah, why can't you get through your thick skull the differences between all these characters?
To be
I
fair,
just like that. It's like, what's he do? He's got a gun. Okay. Ooh. Death, kill, stroke. And they're like, I love them all. Just get two of them,
Swords. He's
put them
got
together.
Swords.
That's it.
And he's also got a
Sword slash. Ooh, he's coming this November. Sorry.
let's just pivot. Let's cover something else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What? Oh, you mean like science?
I'm
or-
just done with comic book movies
Oh,
now.
okay.
I think I'm out.
This is a really bad time to tell you what show you're on.
Yeah,
over
it's a
it.
tough call mid-episode.
That
Deathstroke
did it?
thing has really just done it.
You've had the last
Yeah, I think I'm
Deathstroke.
done.
Wait, that's what broke you?
This
I
was the
think I'm
stroke
done.
that broke the Death's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Pause.
Spevin, I'm out, okay?
We got
You could have a better mantra than that.
Give a skrank about these comic book movies anymore.
When do we think we might see Deathstroke? Other than in a James Gunn tweet, the Waller show? You know, he can be a street level villain on something like Peacemaker, Waller, or something like that. Maybe even the... Would it be weird if he shows up in the Penguin show?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
They're not
guess-
really crossing
He's not a
over.
god.
No, I
He's
feel
not
like that
Gotham, is
show, it's going to be more... They're going to look
Gangsters.
for, like, villain... Yeah, they don't... Batman is going to... The Batman, the Matt Reeves universe is going to feel weird if anything
Crosses over.
Permeates.
magical happens in it. Or anything that's not like, I'm a villain that's just angry and
Got
maybe I'm a
guns,
little strong.
Maybe knives.
Yeah, but like you try and put something magical there, like it, or
Well,
even
Deathstroke-
Superman.
is Deathstroke-
Superman would feel
Too
weird.
super for
Yeah,
that.
too
Yes.
super.
Is Deathstroke magical?
No, I just mean that he makes sense in like that
Yeah.
Matt Reeves universe more than if you're gonna have those characters, just use them there.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last time we saw him, I guess it doesn't matter anymore because that's all
Yeah,
wiped clean.
it's all gone.
God, can
that
you
was
imagine?
all for nothing.
Can you be like Joe Manganiello and it's like, so should we get a contract? Because like I'm in the suit, like we're filming it, and they're like, no, man, it'll happen.
Yeah, word, and this pivots well into our next topic, but just a word of advice to all working actors out there. Get the signed contract for your full film appearance before you do the cameo, right? I hope Harry Styles is okay.
Charlize Theron.
Charlize
I think
Theron,
about
I
her every
hope-
day in that purple.
I hope you're doing
clown
it
Back,
outfit.
we'll see Cleo.
You think?
Happy.
Clea.
Clea.
No, Cleo. That's who
So-
we're gonna see.
Is that because Cleo was the Australian mermaid? Oh no, Cleo. Nope.
No,
What? I
I'm not
don't know.
familiar with
Oh,
that at all.
everyone keeps throwing that one.
I know
at me.
Miss Cleo, and she tells me that we're moving on to our Thirsty Thespian Award. We haven't played that graphic in a minute. We gotta update that graphic. That poor woman on the far right. Nobody.
We don't even remember who
Nobody
she
knows
is.
her. She was But so Glen Powell, who's having a hell of a run here on the backs of Anyone But You, and he's got that Hitman movie coming out that we previously mentioned. He's got Twisters later this summer coming out. In an interview with GQ, he was kind of asked if he had any interest in playing superheroes, and he said he didn't, though he wants to play Batman.
Pick another.
He would be a
If he
good
did
young-
have to play a superhero, it would.
If he was forced
Yeah.
to portray a superhero,
Do you
he
think
wouldn't
this is
mind
also
being
like,
Batman.
I don't know any fucking heroes, and he was like Batman.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's the most lamestream.
This was like when Barry Block said that Ben Mendelsohn should be the next Spider-Man. That's how unhinged it is. I think Ben Mendelsohn would be a great Spider-Man.
Cast him in everything. He's great. But also, Glen Powell as Batman. Yeah, I mean, he's got kind of Val Kilmer's jawline. You know, he could pull off the suit, I guess. But also,
I mean, this is a smart move too because they make like 10 Batman things a
true.
year. So like you got a good chance of being Batman.
I mean, he could be angling to be the James Gunn Batman. Though, that's going to be an older.
Sure, but
Also, Robert Pattinson is
Has
in
the
that.
job.
He's in that chair.
He
okay?
signed the
yeah,
contract.
but he's in the Matt Reeves universe. The brave and the bold James Gunn Batman's gonna be different. It's not gonna be.
What do you think Glen Powell would be better as? I think a young Guy Gardner if they're already casting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
That-
like a Booster Gold would be fun too. Maybe.
Oh, because he's cheeky.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they don't want to do Aquaman, but like if you're gonna do the
the OG
Caucasian
Aqua.
blonde Aquaman, which basically they made Patrick Wilson's or was kind of Aquaman
OG.
coded or whatever, but like he might be a fun Aquaman. I don't need an Aquaman movie again.
Entertainment reporter in me is dying to tell everyone that Glen Powell is actually moving back to Texas to go and finish his degree at university.
Oh, to finish his degree. Oh, I didn't realize that's what it was for.
Yeah, he's going to do that in the interim because he's now realized that he's gotten to a place where he is famous enough to kind of take a bit of a breather.
Yeah. Well, he also like filmed a bunch of movies that got held for a while. Now they're all coming out. Because wasn't Hitman done like a couple years ago?
Yeah.
It was shopped around for a while.
Also shot in Texas. Richard
and
Linklater
like
film.
famously, Top Gun Maverick was held for like 2 years till that got released. Like he's talked about like he was waiting for that movie to come out because he had like no money basically.
Yes,
He
that's
shot that
right.
movie and then was like waiting and waiting and waiting. And it paid out in the end, but it was like
He was down to his last like $2,000.
yeah, it's like come on, this
Now,
put on my movie, please.
You need to get paid.
The degree he's getting, is he going to be like an accountant? Will he be doing taxes, or what do you think?
I don't think so. I,
think
don't
it's
know if you've
sports
seen
medicine.
Glen Powell.
Sports medicine?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
treat some sprained ankles?
Yeah.
Come on the show, Glen Powell. Explain your
Let's talk
decision.
about it.
I have a sprained, it's not sprained ankle, but I have ankle troubles, Glenn. Please help me.
Oh yeah.
Evan?
Before we move on, I just wanted to read off some workshop some names that people suggested.
Oh, that was my water.
Workshop
to
some
pick-
names that people suggested for the James Gunn section. FC Calamity saying "Gun on the Run."
Gun on the
Gun
run.
on the run?
Gun.
FC Calamity also saying "Fun Gun News."
Fun gun.
Fun guns.
Sprinkle the Dragon Cat saying
Sprinkles.
"Gun in 60 seconds."
Gun in 60 seconds. That's my next segment. Put the clock on.
Stunned gun.
That's right.
Crazy Chris 360 in Latin Blue saying "Gun with the Wind."
Ooh, okay.
So like that's just a rumor that didn't pay off, maybe.
Oh yeah.
like
Maybe it's we sort into category.
What about Jamie's got a gun instead of Janie's got a gun? James got a gun.
Gun.
You know Aerosmith, right?
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
it up on Wikipedia.
Okay.
He's a bit young.
And
bit-
Elijah
I've never
Dante
heard of it.
saying "Gun Girl."
Gun girl.
Ooh.
Girl,
Gun baby gun?
she gun.
She
gun
gun.
girl.
She gun girl.
gun?
Speaking of which, we want to thank Kalshi for sponsoring. I know, that was a bad
How?
thing.
What
I
are we speaking of?
You can always say
What are we-
speaking of which.
Never tell
Of
me
which
the odds.
are we speaking?
We want to thank Kalshi for sponsoring our headline show every week. Kalshi is the first legal financial exchange in the U.S. We can bet on any event, including Rotten Tomato scores. We were just talking about a couple of these that are up right now.
I just got a payout on, well, not just, but I got a payout on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
What did you pick, the over or the under?
I picked the over on its Rotten Tomato score. It did over 80. And I
Yeah.
had pre-bought it, and I won $1. and 16 cents.
Hey, nice. It's a fun platform for very low stakes.
Very low stake.
That's what I always do. And you can, there are all these different markets, including like politics and music, economics, tech, all kinds of stuff. But the ones we like are often in the culture section, and a lot of like Rotten Tomatoes, Oscar nominations. Like, will Drake have a #1 song this year? There's a lot of weird stuff like that. But right now, Megalopolis, the
You said that effortlessly.
I know I put a couple extra syllables in
Megalopolis.
there. Megalopolis. Yeah, Megalopolis. The Francis Ford Coppola epic that is looking for a distributor is on there, and will it get under or over a 45 on Rotten Tomatoes, which feels low. Another one that stuck out to me, The Bear season 3. Will it get over or under 98
Wow.
on Rotten Tomatoes?
Pretty good.
Which is extremely high. And if you feel like, 98, it'll be a good show, but it won't be a 98, you can pick the under. And then when the Rotten Tomatoes score comes out, if you're right, it pays out $1, right? And like you maybe have to buy it for 42 cents or 58 cents or whatever the current rate is. But also, if over time more and more people side with you and your price goes up, you can sell before it even releases and get any value that has accrued. You can sign up by going to kalshi.com/breakroom, and the first 500 traders to make a deposit of $50 will get a free $20 credit. There's the code right there on screen, kalshi.com/breakroom. We also want to shout out, I think if you're watching this today, Tuesday, May 28th.
Thank you for clarifying.
Just today.
If you're
Today,
watching
ever.
this today,
Yeah, whatever day you're watching. No, if you're watching this Tuesday, May 28th, possibly Wednesday, but I think it might end Tuesday. There is at nerdriot.shop, there's a Memorial Day sale still going on. Buy one, get one 50% off anything on the shop. That includes things like this, Rocket Science,
Whoa.
Garment Dyed t-shirt, Oh, the look, the
What
feel
color
of the
would
fabric.
you call that? Like a cornflower
slate.
blue? Slate Wilson.
Slade Wilson.
It's a little bluer than slate, but
That's when my drag name is Slade Wilson.
Well, now we have to see you all gussied up.
yeah, chasse away.
What have you got?
I've got the legs for it, but not the patience to do the makeup. And you can get all kinds of other great products. We've got, of course, some Deadpool inspired, X-Men '97 inspired stuff on there. Some fun
Star Wars merch?
Yes, Star
Ooh,
Wars. Magneto was right.
Daddy.
Not a badass.
Sorry.
You could get that in a crop top.
Mod's voice dropped like 3 octaves on that one.
Daddy.
Daddy.
That shirt, you can get that in a hoodie or a crop top as well. That and lots of
Well,
other products.
Are you okay? It's
Nerd
just
Riot
a drawn
does
image.
Holy
cannoli.
Now that Maude is in the right headspace to get into the Maude Monday Minute.
I have got a little color after that. Well, look, if I see you wearing that Magneto shirt, I will also call you Daddy.
He's like, leave the shirt on.
Okay, first of all, she doesn't smoke. Smoking
Well,
kills.
in this scenario, it's fun. It's a candy cigarette.
No, it still wouldn't. What is? I'm so glad the camera's not on you while you make these
Good.
noises
Great.
and motions. Okay, hey, we got that clock. I'm about to give you 60 seconds of news that we don't want to talk about for very long, but we'll power it out at ya. So give me that timer, and I'll get going. Hayao Miyazaki's next film was teased by his son Goro, who said it would be an action-adventure type movie, nostalgic and reminiscent of the old days. Give me some more of it, I say. The first episode of House of the Dragon Season 2 reportedly has a runtime of 64 minutes. So make sure you get a hearty cheese board for your premiere party. It says to wink. I can't wink. Wink! The third Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, was announced last week, and over the weekend we got a widely reported casting rumor that it could star Tom Hardy, Lindsay Lohan, Kaylee Spaney, and Josh O'Connor. And as of today, Andrew Scott of Fleabag and All of Us Strangers fame is going to join the mix as well. Evan can't wait. Fun fact, Ryan Johnson is in my Pokemon Go group text chat. The final season of Umbrella Academy gets... Sorry, I'm just a nerd.
What a flex.
Every day. The final season of the Umbrella Academy gets a new trailer tomorrow, with it being teased by AA tentacles around a sign themed around a subway entrance. What? We don't know. You'll find out more on Netflix. The release apparently is August 8th. There you go.
Hey, Maude Monday Minute. Couple things. I love that Hayao Miyazaki's son is named Goro.
Okay, did anyone else think of Mortal
Yes,
Kombat?
that's
Oh my
the
god.
guy with 6 arms. And
If I didn't have 60 seconds, I would have spent 59 of that like talking about Goro.
So he's officially all the way unretired now?
Hayao Miyazaki is working on another film. They're not calling it his last film because who knows at this point. But yeah, Goro Miyazaki was interviewed and teased a little bit about it.
Love it.
The best
Action.
Miyazaki clip is him meeting with his animators, and they've been working on this like AI technology to like develop a character. Like you just develop a character and it adds movement to it or something like automatically. He's watching this whole presentation and they're showing it. And it's like he's like smoking or something as he always is. And he's like that was grotesque and that was an abomination to all art everywhere or something. Just like destroys them. It's just
Love
like
it.
in the meeting in front of everybody, and it was just like, whoo, tough room.
Hey, he's
I actually
tough room.
respect that.
yeah,
though.
he's
Yeah.
earned it.
It's fine.
But there's a lot. I also love the casting for. I mean, Ryan Johnson in his last, especially Glass Onion, really just like stacking the cast.
What's more chaotic, the White Lotus casting or like the next Knives Out casting?
Oh,
right?
let's go.
Those things are like, it's like picking the most interesting mix of actors you can. Right?
Yes. I feel like Dave Bautista is going to be in all of them at some point.
Dave Bautista gets first refusal right. Yeah, who will be the first to do both a White Lotus and a Knives Out?
Oh, Theo James?
Theo James,
Maybe?
He's a bit busy at the moment, though.
Yeah.
He's got a Netflix show out right
Yeah.
now. Gentleman, something.
I mean, they've killed off Jennifer Coolidge's character. Spoiler alert for
I did.
White Lotus, but like she could show up. In
The new
in
season's
Knives
in
Out.
Thailand? Is that right? Or
believe
somewhere in
so.
Southeast Asia? Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for it. I
Walt
think that's...
Goggins in the new season.
Yeah. Oh, Walt Goggins. Put him in everything. Who's he playing? I guess I was going to say who's he playing in the MCU. He's already been in the MCU.
Yeah, he's Sonny. Bring back Sonny Birch.
Sonny Birch. Bring him
Still
back.
alive. He's got a contact at the FBI. Who is it? Is it Kang?
Speaking of people in the MCU, so Giancarlo Esposito, who's one of the all-time, if you're running a convention, get him on the bill.
Yeah.
Throw whatever money and travel you need
be a good time.
to get him there, because he's going to do something that will blow up, will get aggregated, will get a lot of attention. He was at the Phoenix Fan Fusion Expo this
Say that
weekend.
5 times fast.
Phoenix Fan Fusion Expo. And Arizona-based outlet Legion of Sand, another great name, shared that he said on stage, "The MCU has knocked on my door, and it's a role you won't predict. It will be teased, and there will be a series afterwards."
What? He shouldn't have said that either.
It seems like a lot, but it's also a smart move, a smart business move for him.
Yeah.
But knocked on my door means an offer has been made.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like he's signed on or
No.
signed anything.
Knocked at my door, it's like introductory discussion.
I heard he's going to be playing Deathstroke in the James Gunn's DC.
But I thought you were going to say in the MCU. So if you're live in the Twitch chat, start dropping some predictions. Our very own Hector Navarro had a pretty savvy prediction here.
Well, first off, like, I think a lot of people have thought Doom for this guy, right?
Yes.
Now, do you think it could be Doom? What does Giancarlo know about like comics? Does he think Doom is not in the zeitgeist already, and he thinks that's like a deep
But he
character?
wouldn't have said-
Or would he know enough?
Would
Someone
Dr. Doom get a
you wouldn't
spin-off?
predict.
Would he get a
and would he
spin-off?
get
No.
specifically a series?
No, I don't think so.
Also, like, was this something that was told to him by JPEG that is a deal that's no longer around anymore? Like, they're not going to make this series anymore?
Well, and is it just early talks? Like, if he's going to first just be teased, and then a series will follow. Well,
Yeah.
will the series follow 5 years later, 10 years later? Like, again, like our aforementioned Clea and Star Fox.
Maybe they're going to insert him into Ironheart. That's why they've been holding it for so long.
Well, yeah. So so throw in the chat who you think he could be talking about. Our own Hector Navarro said that he could play Norman Osborn.
I
Said,
don't hate that.
I bet he'll make a cameo in Daredevil Born Again next year, and then possibly show up playing him in something else, including Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the series that follows. Now, the only problem there is, I think as of now, we're still assuming Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comes out before Daredevil Born Again, not after. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've been a little vague with like what the release order is right now. So I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure.
no promises on anything.
Yeah. It's very possible that we only get What If out of the animation. But sorry, continue.
yes, and I think because of his prominent roles in the Breaking Bad universe as Gus Fring, everybody's mind. Oh, and of course in Mandalorian, right? Like Moff Gideon.
Also a bad guy.
Everybody kind of immediately runs to villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I don't think
him.
he's fun as a
Hold on, isn't he also in The Boys?
protagonist.
He really
Yeah,
was
the VOD
as
executive.
a bad
Stan,
guy?
Stan Edgar in The Boys.
Dan
Let
Edgar,
him be
that's right.
good.
No.
He's a good
Okay.
actor.
Such a
He
good
could pull off.
villain.
He could pull off a good guy. But yeah, maybe you go to him. It's like
take care of
it's
the
like you go to
people.
Gary Oldman for villain. You go to Giancarlo for villain.
Whoa,
They're just some
whoa.
characters.
So you're saying Sirius Black was bad all along?
Dang.
Man,
Dang.
he had to shirk.
He had a
his
reason
family.
to kill Peter Pettigrew. Huh?
He
talking about?
he no longer he was Gryffindor because he no longer wanted to be a Slytherin and live
Yeah.
up to the family
Yeah,
name. He
you're-
got burnt off the family tree.
You're absolutely right. I'm just referring to the 100 other villains Gary Oldman has played across film.
Winston Churchill, pretty big villain.
Winston Churchill, and I guess also Commissioner Gordon, or not Commissioner.
Yeah,
Gordon.
she
Oh yeah,
was.
Commissioner
Yes,
Gordon. Yeah,
he was.
In the Nolan films, yeah.
He let all the cops go in the sewer like an idiot.
Yeah. So yeah, who else do we think he could play? He's an actor of a certain stature. You're not going to bring him in for a very tiny role. Also, if he's then going to appear in a series, right?
Right, but
the
the series
thing.
might not be focused around him. He could be the villain in this series, right?
And I like the fact that it could also be an animated series that is just lending his voice towards.
Yeah.
What else is Hector thinking? It says
Oh, Hector.
Well, I think that the thoughts are helpful framing, right? Because initially, when you think Giancarlo Esposito, my mind didn't jump to animation, right? And especially seeing like live action appearance as Norman Osborn in Daredevil Born Again, but then to voice the animated version of the character. Like, do you think that Giancarlo Esposito gets cast as a character that gets his own series, or this kind of like supporting, like could be like a side villain or something? You know?
I think he's like a villain, and I don't think a villain will be like the main character of a series. Unless, Loki, you can make that argument, but that's a different story there. Like, they're not going to make a series focused on a villain who's being villainous.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, the Spider-Man does like to pack in their villains. I mean, there's a chance he could be a Vulture. There's a chance he could be something else in that universe.
I love the idea of that whenever they introduced Norman Osborn, like in the MCU, like Peter Parker would be like, wait, I met a Norman Osborn and they're no good. And the idea that like this guy shows up and Tom Holland, Peter Parker has to be like, no, I got to keep an eye on this guy because he's going to like do this thing that makes him bad.
Yeah.
And like that paranoia creates the Green Goblin in a weird, like he creates
Wait,
his own-
but Tom Holland has not met.
But he met a Green Goblin he met a Norman Osborn
that.
from a
Yeah,
different
Willem
universe.
Dafoe. Yeah,
who
yeah.
came here and was like, there's no Norman Osborn here. Even though I think he was lying because at no point was Willem Dafoe ever Norman Osborn. He was always the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin was always control and was just faking the whole time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he was faking the whole time. The whole time? I think that's going to create this paranoia in Peter Parker in the MCU so that when a Norman Osborn, when he does make himself apparent, Peter is going to aggressively be watching him, and that's going to create the Green Goblin. He's going to create his own villain.
I just wonder because we did just see an iteration of this with Willem Dafoe. Is it too soon? I guess they're just conversations as far as Giancarlo's concerned.
Yeah,
But
also-
it's like I
I don't think it's too soon. I think that's one of the
I
best
think that's a
villains
little too soon.
Spider-Man's
Willem
got.
Dafoe just had a moment. Like
I do love
That was wrapping up that story.
coming back to the Doom thing. I think like again, like if maybe at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, and you know maybe the main antagonist in that is Galactus. We know that role's been cast. Maybe Mole Man might be in there too. But like we just get a tease of Doom. It would be strange if then the next time we saw him was in a series and what that series would be.
Right.
Because then we're looking at 2026 or beyond probably. I do think it would be interesting and like maybe Doom, maybe Latveria in this case. Giancarlo Esposito, who could play any role, any whatever, but I believe he's of Dominican extraction. I'm probably wrong.
Just to clarify, Giancarlo Esposito was born in Denmark, but to an Italian stagehand and carpenter from Naples, and his mother was an African-American opera and nightclub singer from Alabama.
what a
Quite
Great.
kind of-
Couldn't have been more wrong, but great. He can play any role he damn well wants of any ethnicity.
Also, Dominican Extraction, I'm pretty sure, is the third film in the Extraction series, starring Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Just taking Netflix's money.
But I think somewhere Central Caribbean America, somewhere in there. But maybe like Latveria is like an island nation.
Oh, they like change where its location?
You know what I mean?
So it's not too much like Sokovia, where there's
Yeah,
all
we've
these
been to
nondescript Eastern
and like
European-
Zemos from over there, right? Like there's just
Yeah.
a lot of we've done a lot in that general region, right?
Now, him being like it's someone you wouldn't guess or predict or something, which is crazy because we're predicting right now. So
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
say it, does that make it not true?
No, he has to apologize to us personally.
It's true.
Yeah.
We know the MCU loves to do this thing where like, hey, here's a villain or a character that was in a couple comics in the 60s, and we now have flushed it out into... We saw that in the Marvels recently, right? Like the character that Zoe Austin's playing, name I already forgot.
Darben.
Darben, thank you. Not a huge figure from the comics. They kind of just took the name, reworked some elements, and it's like a totally new villain. That could be something they're doing here, where they're taking a villain we're not even thinking of, very small potatoes, and they're going to be like, no, we're going to turn this villain into like a larger character.
Yeah, well,
in
that
the
would mean
MCU.
it would be hard to guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think to know Giancarlo's level of nerddom and what he thinks is an obscure, non-predicted character.
I know he loves posing with people in Mando cosplay.
That's the best thing about it, and like he does love that, and he talks shit about Grogu all the time.
Yeah,
as Giancarlo, which I love. He's like, no, I hate that.
stays
little
in
rat
character.
bastard.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, Evan.
So people in the chat before we started and now we're also saying like, could he be playing like an original character, right? And to that degree, right, Brandon, I think that goes in with what you're saying, right? Retooling a minor character or
Right.
perhaps someone original, but to give them a larger arc
Yeah.
against someone else, and that's very very popular.
And even
right? Obviously
like,
it's hard to guess.
could he play a post Thunderbolt Ross president or senator, or maybe a
Every movie they get a new actor to play Thunderbolt Ross.
That's right. Or like a new head of Shield in a
Yeah.
post Nick Fury world or something
see
like
that.
that, right? Like, yeah. Or and like Val, right? Like a bureaucratic kind of villain could be fun.
like
yeah.
he finds out about Val and wants to take her down from inside. Ooh.
I want to get to some of the chat suggestions here. We got some mutant suggestions, right? X-Men
Omega Red?
obviously in the news. So
Giancarlo is
Ryan-
Omega Red.
Well, Ryan Painter's saying Glob Herman.
Bob Herman, hell yeah, dude.
Justin
Just his
Greger is saying Beak.
B. I mean, I say go full Psylocke. Yeah.
I heard Giancarlo's going to
okay.
play all 5 of the cuckoos.
You and your cuckoos.
They're going to put a blonde wig on them. And just
But Snowden 94 and Alistair 410 saying repeating a theory that we've heard a lot for what Professor X, right?
Yeah.
That is one that I think has been theorized before. Maybe he wouldn't treat it that way.
What about a Mr. Sinister?
No, I don't see that. I want that for you because you're throwing your
You
neck
got so
around.
excited.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be it. I'll read the prompter because no one else is. Kang? We need a Kang replacement.
Yeah. And the void between also suggesting that too. Kang Prime.
Yeah.
Could that be a path that they take?
I can see him being the master manipulator who's gone through every single iteration of time itself, and he's just sitting there being like, right, it's time to play.
He's like a Mortis, or he's...
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
When are we going to see... What are they going to do with...
I don't know.
What are they gonna
It's a
do
$1 million
with these characters?
question.
They
Get
have
the cleanup
not-
crew to come in, and that is always...
They kind of started it with Loki, right? Where they were like, "Oh, we're fixing these problems. Don't worry." At the end of that show, they were like, "Oh, something happened in the quantum realm, but
Well,
it's
also,
been settled." Don't
again,
worry."
if he's accurate in what he's saying, like tease a new Kang and then a series is the next time we see Kang. That would be weird.
Wasn't that on the slate already?
A Kang
Just
series.
A movie. Was.
Kang Dynasty, yeah. And then, we also, of course, some people have speculated Mephisto. Now, that's a little confusing. I mean, we're legally obligated as being in the new Rockstars network to speculate about Mephisto. But, the long-held rumor that Sacha Baron Cohen has been cast, kind of as of yet unconfirmed by Marvel, I believe, as Mephisto to appear in Ironheart, I believe, and potentially also Agatha all along.
I think it was tied with Ironheart, and a lot of us were thinking like, "Oh, I wonder if it'll tie into Mephisto or Agatha all along." But that was back when we thought we'd have Ironheart by now, which is it doesn't seem like that's going to come out. It's definitely coming out
still
after
trotting
Agatha.
out Anthony Ramos at the upfront, so they're still going to release it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something that they're adding into Ironheart because we know they've held that for so long, and they're going to stitch him in or something. I don't know. It all seems very weird.
Sacha Baron Cohen is on Australia's shit list at the moment.
Because of Isla Fisher?
Well, they've divorced.
Yeah.
And we always choose Isla in the divorce.
Sure.
But he also
Rebel
wasn't great
also,
with
yeah.
Rebel. Yeah. So am I happy about this? No. Because I'm not allowed to be. And that's all I'll say on that.
Also, another suggestion from the chat here, Alistair 410, saying Giancarlo Esposito's Beyonder.
Beyonder.
Oh, that could be fun.
If they want to, the Beyonder,
Never met her.
if they want to do the kind of traditional Secret Wars Battle World thing, you have the Beyonder as like a figure that you can use.
Do you do Beyonder as CGI, or does he look like Giancarlo?
I think you make him look like a person.
Yeah. I mean, in the comics, he's usually depicted
Yeah.
as looking like a person in like a crazy outfit.
Yeah, I wonder how, I'm always wondering like how far the kind of MCU wants to go with a lot of that cosmic stuff. Like already we have introduced the concept of like celestial, like Eternals, and then like Celestials, certainly the Skrulls and the Kree and all that. But then we've also met Infinity now or Eternity through
Love and
Thor, Love and Thunder, and like there's Dormammu. Now the MCU is not afraid to have 10 different versions of the Shadow Dimension or Shadow Realm or Dark Realm or whatever they want to call it. So like they could keep introducing these weird concepts, but I'm wondering if like when it comes to Secret Wars, if they don't want to introduce another cosmic MacGuffin and just use what they already have, especially if like Galactus is coming, that's like another whole thing. Yeah. I don't know, because it always felt like in the comics when they needed to do these big stories, they'd be like, here's this new cosmic entity that is super powerful, all powerful, and then it's there for that story, and it kind of goes away, and they use it when they need it. But it always feels like those pieces are being moved around for just plot purposes. And I think it's weird when they do it in movies, and it's like, well, where does this thing go once it's done?
I feel like the further out away, the less grounded it is, sort of like for us, and we get more and more detached from this story that they're trying to tell. So I hear what you're saying with that.
We also, back to who he could be playing, kind of the timing of this is fortuitous because we recently got confirmation that the Vision Disney Plus series is back on.
Okay.
We're thinking that's a 2026 release, most likely at this point. But like the timing of that, and that just got kind of announced in the last few weeks, and then Giancarlo saying this, could he be on board to maybe play a villain in that? series. Maybe tease beforehand and then find some kind of an antagonist. That could again be a shield or sword or some kind of an agent or somebody else. I mean, he could pull off Cyborg.
You don't do a cyborg?
No, not a cyborg. Like any cyborg.
Not the
cyborg, but just any cyborg.
I see cyborg coming into the MCU.
I was like, whoa.
No. Just
Ray
like
Fisher's
another,
like, wait a second, why didn't I get a phone call?
another
about this?
humanoid robot or whatever. Maybe.
No, I can see him sort of like using technology to corrupt whatever Vision's entity is. I can see him being a smart man in a white coat.
They also just wrapped up Wonder Man. If he's maybe already filmed something for that, and he's just being coy
Or maybe
here.
that's where he's teased.
Yeah.
And then he appears more fully in something else. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments who you would fan cast or really cast.
Also, Giancarlo, we know you'll show up anywhere and say some great stuff.
Yeah, you can
so
say whatever
come
you
on the
want
show,
on this show.
Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Spill
want.
the tea.
Bring Seema with you. We'll make it a party, okay? We've got some parking.
And if you know where Glen Powell is, bring him along.
Yeah, Glen Powell. Get him during a study break. You know what I mean? Like,
Graham Norton show?
All right.
I'll interview. I'll do it.
Yeah, Maude could pull off a great Graham Norton.
Now listen here, everyone. I've got a great thing to say. No, I'll do my own version. I'll do my own version.
Graham Norton taking strays today.
You know,
I'm gonna spin around in my chair.
you know who'd be a great Graham Norton guest? Austin Butler.
Who's gonna?
What
do
would
it?
that be like?
Who's gonna do it?
It might sound like, oh baby, there's so many guests on this show. We're all just on couches.
Well, he
baby.
He was on Graham Norton, and he was just like,
That's right.
he was really infatuated with all the women he was on the show with, right? It was like,
Yeah. Oh, he was
Someone else.
schmoozing hard.
He was
yes. Was that Kate
such an honor.
Blanchett or something on there?
Not
Yeah.
to be on the show with all these women.
Oh, baby, here I am sitting next to Hella. Oh, mama.
Hey, Mom, I don't understand all those prawn sandwiches y'all eat. Home, Daddy. What's a prawn?
You
Took the
bring,
queue to the lift. Home, Mama.
you bringing Australia into this? Are you mocking that?
No, they have prawns in England.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, they're
don't get it.
gigantic.
What's up with that?
Their prawns are huge.
Fucking prawns. They flavor their chips with them.
You're no longer funny. No,
Well, different
I
kind for you.
rescind my adoration for that one joke that you made at the beginning of the show, and now you're done.
Wow, we've really been under the gun today, folks.
Oh, baby, I lost. She rescinded her adoration,
Oh.
mama. Okay.
I would like to do a call sheet bet on will Maude find Zach funny by the end of 2023. That's 2024.
You have to wait till the end of the year.
The over-under on that one.
It's currently selling 99 cents. No. Wow.
Let's just say I'm a little more over than under.
That's right.
I'm fine.
She's
That's
over
the
it,
proper,
folks.
that's the proper stance to take. Yes. That's it for today. Thank you so much.
He's calling it. He's calling it.
That's what the prompter says.
Now you're done. You don't want to talk about comic book movies anymore.
No. I'm out.
I'm
over
no
it.
longer taking any Australian
Yeah.
jizz.
One 3-day weekend and we've all had enough.
Lies. Hey, let us know in the
Wait,
comments
you're
below.
not
What are
taking
you
any-
mad at? What are
did
you
say?
over?
You're not taking any Australian what?
Jizz?
Cheers.
Gee.
Come on, be adults.
What do you think I said?
Oh, mama.
What? Jizz.
Sounded like she said something else.
Like what?
He thinks you said jizz. The Star Wars version of jazz.
It's a jizz band. It's a jizz band.
I love that you heard that. You were just like, what do they do in Australia?
Say what now? Oh, mama.
And hey, that's it for us. Make sure you subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube and give us a follow. Not us, Breakroom a follow. And also join Twitch because that's where you get to see all the uncensored fun that we have, and it explains why there's tears in my eyes.
Yeah,
right
that
now.
explains why there's tears in her eyes. Just sounds bad out of context.
If you're watching on
We're not making her
YouTube,
cry. Tears of
That's
laughter.
not true.
if you're watching on YouTube and you think it gets a little unhinged on YouTube,
Ooh, you ain't seen
boy,
nothing.
it is. There's no hinges in sight on Twitch.
No.
You know? We've taken the hinges off. It's just open doors. Yes, and definitely follow Maude on all platforms to
Yeah.
keep up with all the great stuff she's doing.
More Garrett.
Next book club.
Yeah, I've got one on Thursday, and then I'm interviewing the author of said book the following Thursday. So if you want a Q&A with Rebecca Ross, who's done some great fantasy books, join me.
Cool.
Yay.
All right. Thank you all
Just
so much.
sucks the energy out of the room when I
No,
talk
it was
about
great.
books.
That was great.
Words on pages. I know.
I know what a
know.
book is. I've seen them in museums.
I balance out all my dining room tables with them.
Oh my God. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you all so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.